Hang on a moment. Isn't there someone I'm forgetting? That's right. It is finally time to do justice to the Princess of Hell herself, Lilith Einsland. It is I, Love Game, your Lord and Vampire Savior, and it is time for the finale of Let's Play Darkstalkers, the Night Warriors and Vampire Savior. I'm still dressed in my Kamina costume. I've got my Grapefruit White Claw. I have my Apple Pie Kit Kat. And you know what? I've never felt better. Let's do this. With a beautiful, luminous illusion to represent our Princess of Hell for this lovely night. We are finally playing my main for this game, and the one character I can actually do technical stuff with, which is a lot of fun because I can show off potential skill. And guess what? Not only is the game in Turbo 3 mode now, I have jacked up the difficulty as well by a couple of stars, not maximum, but the point being I've put the difficulty up since last time, so if this doesn't tell you anything about my skill with this character, then I don't know what will. This has been very exciting to do for this lovely Halloween, and I just can't wait to play this character, which is post-commentary, but still. I can't wait to talk about this character and gush about her endlessly like I always do, because I am the Black Gale after all. Yeah, I'm wearing my blue wig, my cape, and all that good stuff. Had a lovely night at work. It was fantastic. Even if Halloween was cancelled due to the great sickness of the earth and all that terrible things. Not good stuff, just bad stuff, but we are in business! Lilith Einsland plays, again, a lot like Morrigan, except for this, my friends, is how you make a clone character interesting. You give her legitimately genuine different moves, and make her feel different enough that she deserves her own character slot. Take notes, developers. As I say, even though, well, again, I hope I can reverse jinx this into making a new Darkstalkers game like I did with Zoids. That'd be so amazing. Yeah, she is an utter blast to play as. I like everything about this character. My best friend, Christopher Oliver, shoutouts to you, was a fantastic Lilith main, probably better than me, honestly. He could pull off stuff with that character that I could only dream of, and he played on the PSP and the arcade as well, so if that tells you anything, we must honor the legacy of this fantastic character, Lilith Einsland. I might have mentioned a lot of stuff about her in the previous parts of the LP, but just as a general primer, obviously, Morrigan only had 2/3 of her power, even when she was old enough to wield it properly. But that the third third of her power, had languished for so often that it had become its own entity. And I don't know if it was Jeddah that gave her power, or if it was like that she just kind of manifested at the same time that Jeddah made the Majigan. I don't know, it's kind of conflicting on that, but the general point is that this third of Morrigan's power took on a life of her own, and called herself Lilith. Obviously, with the name reference there, if y'all if y'all watched Evangelion, you might know this. But in general, the reason that Morrigan has been drawn to the Majigan is that she senses another part of her there and wants to go there to possibly save her or interact with her in some way that could potentially benefit her. They've gone on to kind of have a sisterly relationship. She's kind of like simultaneously, Morrigan is kind of like Lilith's sister and mom at the same time, as weird as that sounds. An interesting relationship, to say the least. But as a young succubus who has taken on largely the form of, well, Morrigan, despite having different colors, she has some similar moves. She's a bit more, as you can see, a bit more rushdown base. Like, if you can get somebody in the corner with Lilith, you can just fuck them up endlessly, but She has no, like, long-range projectile. Her only projectile is the Soul Flash, which is a good move because it's, like, a good poking move, but it's not a good, long-range move by any means. By the way, that Scythe move fucking sucks. Also, because I never showed it off with any other character, I'm showing off fucking Dark Force, finally. It's an awesome technique in this game, and I didn't get to show it off all that much, because, you know what? I'm a dumb sometimes. Can you blame me? You know what? Tonight, I'm not a dumb. Because I'm feeling like a wrestler, baby, and not the kind that DSP can roll for in his gacha games. Oh yeah! We're gonna fuck up some fish with our favorite waifu. Because that's what we do here on the Love Game channel of thick waifus and LPs. As you can see by her sprite and or artwork, Lilith is generally kind of flat, but also considered to have more going on in the hips department than Morgan is, so kind of an interesting contrast there. I like that. I also love her Dark Force so much. It is kind of a variation on Morgan's, so interesting to use, but again, I like playing this character a lot. She's kind of a mid-low tier. Like, she's in the bottom half of the characters, but still a ton of fun to use. She has not been playable in other games besides this one, to my knowledge, other than like those games like Cross Edge and Namco X Capcom. I'm talking actual fighters. She has not been playable in any kind of like CVS or MVC. She has cameos here and there. Like, I know in the starting animation for Marvel 2, she fuses with Morgan, which is kind of cool, but as you can see, her animations are quite different. She doesn't even have like the same dash or anything. She doesn't have that rocket booster. Many of her moves are different enough to categorize her as more like what Wolf is to Fox. So, in that regard, she's a literal, almost a literal clone character. I would say like a, well, I don't want to say clone, but a manifestation of another character's being and power. But it does come with the kind of taboo of, well, the fact that she is quite young. Different sources will give her a different age. She is usually considered to be 12, so take that for what you will. Her actual appearance when she is, like, Morgan's age even shows her with, like, more exaggerated hips and all that, so she definitely surpasses Morgan in the thickness department, I'll say that much, whenever she, gets to that point, so interestingly enough, just to point that out. But other than that, she's obviously a much more jovial, curious kind of character, and her power is almost equal to that of Morgan's, actually, so she's still one of the more strong characters, one of the stronger characters in the Capcom verse. And because she's, like, kind of unwieldy and curious with her powers, it makes her quite volatile as a character, just because, like, she's unpredictable, you know what she's gonna do next, and she just kind of... But she's not necessarily evil, except for in, like, one of the comics, for some reason it makes her a lot more malicious than she normally is. Not sure why that is. But she does genuinely care for her mother, sister, whatever. She doesn't have a particularly strong relationship with any other character besides, obviously, Jedha. By the way, this is the first for this game. I have never played a Lilith campaign where you don't fight Jedha at all. That's weird. I never had that happen before. But yeah, the final boss is obviously going to be Morgan. Who else? And, let's just say Morgan wiped the floor with me because I jacked up the difficulty. Like, the first time I fought her, I was so close to winning and I whipped a fucking attack, so I'm an idiot for that, but still. I persevered, because that's what I do. But by the time I was, like, done with this fight, I'm not kidding, I was, like, drenched, because this is right before after I got home from work, so I was, like, drenched with sweat, and, like, it was going in my eyes and all that, so, like, this just proves how much I love this game. I'm willing to put my blood, sweat, and tears into it for everybody. And that's why I'm happy to do this LP because it is a fantastic game that does not deserve to be forgotten in the sands of time. It deserves to live on, even if it is undead, like all the monsters within here. So for anyone who made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Especially you, Plain Bro, I know you like this LP quite a bit. Moving forward, we're going to do a lot of fun stuff. But I wanted to show this character off in all of her glory, as well as the rest of this fantastic cast of misfits and monsters and ghouls, everything in between. And what better time of the year to do it? Because as far as I'm concerned, fuck COVID-19. Halloween is not cancelled by any means. So long as the Black Dragon decrees it. We shall live on as a species, and you know how it be. But yeah, tons and tons of fun. How could you go wrong with the ultimate granddaddy of all anime fighters? Darkstalkers 3, Vampire Savior, the Lord of Vampire, or Jetta's Damnation, however you want to call it. Again, maybe one day I'll actually show off the... what do you call it? Like the weird extras you can do in the Saturn version and all that, if I can get that emulated. Perhaps one day I'll do that, but until then this will conclude the lovely Halloween LP of Darkstalkers, which will not go up until the 1st of November, sadly. But Lilith is kind of fitting for a after the storm kind of character, because she was the one I was wanting to show off the most. So what are her differences from Morgan? Well, her normals are somewhat different. Obviously her specials are all different, even like the trajectory of her Shining Blade is different than the Shadow Blade. I said that at the same time. But yeah, thematically she's quite different. Because obviously for every name of Morgan's attacks, hers are more focused on light in some way, versus darkness. So you have like Soul Fist and Soul Flash, Shadow Blade and Shining Blade, Darkness Illusion and Luminous Illusion, the most obvious one, among other things. Oh, the most fun fact about Lilith is that and stop here if you're sensitive about these kind of things. Just skip a couple of seconds ahead if you don't want to hear this. But Lilith can change, well, genitalia on the fly. She was largely conceived as an androgynous character, which is why she kind of has like a flat chest and short hair. She was generally considered female even after the fact, but she can in fact like swap out her genitalia at will if she wants to. So, have fun with that fact. But yeah, if you like a character that's just like a total bundle of fun, volatile personality that can just fuck you up at a moment's notice, then Lilith is your character for sure. By the way, this arrangement here you're hearing is an actual like fan-made CPS2 based arrangement for Lilith, because she didn't have an actual theme in this game. She like by default shared one with BB Hood for some reason, of all characters. And sadly earlier on I was trying to get Dimitri to do the pajama move on Lilith, but I couldn't get him to do it, so I just kind of cut that part out because it was just me fucking around. Yeah, she has some good jumping. She's one of the only characters with an actual, like, proper super jump for some reason. But yeah, I've been feeling great for this LP, and I hope that carries on to the next one, because I don't know what the fuck it's gonna be, honestly. It's gonna be one of 3 games that I mentioned back in my Sapphire run, but I don't know what I'm gonna do first. I'm thinking I kind of want to do Zoids first, but it remains to be seen. And of course, I have to give the greatest shout out in the world to my good pal Suck You Baby, who provided me with a lot of the extensive lore on Lilith, and getting me to enjoy the character more than I even have normally. Because again, she was one of my favorites back in the old days, but kind of a renewed interest there thanks to her, so shout outs to you. And by the way, Wings agrees with me. Yeah. Fantastic stuff all around. I encourage anyone who likes fighting games to try Darkstalkers in whatever manner you can manage to do that, where you can, maybe get MAME working. I don't know about that much. That's an iffy right there, but, either get it off of PS Now, or just emulate that shit. Play it however you want. Despite my best efforts, I couldn't beat my old score in the practice run. One of these days. And as close as we are, Lilith couldn't make it in time. You knew that in either ending, she was destined to not exist anymore. But she lives on through this ring in our hearts.